Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to run through the best options on mounting a lithium battery in your car. Now, as you know, a rule of thumb, most of the time you will not mount a lithium or an AGM battery under your bonnet. It can't take the temperature, the battery won't last, so which leaves you with your canopy. But the trouble in your canopy, that's a lot of weight more over your rear end, over that back axle, and also takes up a lot of room in your canopy. So where else can you go? Well, stay tuned, I'll show you how. All right, let's get to it. Because we're going a lithium sealed battery, it's safe to put it in my cabin. So the best place I can put it is behind my back seats here. Now I tried that with my last batteries. I had the Kick-Ass 170 amp hour slimline batteries, and it was only about 2 inches short of being able to fit him across my back seat. But now with these iTech World 100 amp hour lithium batteries and these 120 amp hour Kick-Ass slimline trays, now I can fit them along my back seat easily, and I know they're nice and secure. Really didn't pick the best day for filming today. This rain is patchy and coming and going, but we'll persist and we'll get there. The rain stopped for a minute again, so we'll give it another crack. Now these Kick-Ass battery trays, they've got foam on every single surface, so your battery is nice and protected. It's already got countersunk drilled holes on the bottom and the back here, ready for you to mount straight in your car. They give you the countersunk bolts and also nut certs here, everything you need to mount them in the back of your car. I couldn't have planned this any better. These new batteries fit in here perfectly with millimeters to clear each side. Really easy to secure. You just grab the strap like normal, feed it through, secure it down, and that's it, all nice and secure. They also come with pre-drilled holes on the side here. They have an optional charger mount. So you can mount the charger directly on the side here. And also on one side of the case, there's a cutout here where your terminals will stick through and you've got access to your terminals. I'm going to be 100% open and honest with you guys. Australian Direct Kick-Ass sent me these 2 battery trays here for promotional purposes. But as you know, I've been using Kick-Ass for several years now and love their products. I actually had their battery trays in the 170 amp hour previously and I paid for them. So just because they've been sent to me doesn't mean I'm not going to be honest. If I find any flaws, I'm definitely going to mention it. There are 2 I've already found. The rivets that hold these straps, I was just tightening the strap then, and this one just comes straight off. So I'm going to have to drill that rivet out and put a nut and a bolt, a big washer there to hold that. It never happened with my previous one, so that's probably a once off. I probably pulled a bit too tight. So that's probably my fault. But the main issue I found, that's great if you just want one of these battery trays in your car. With this little slot here for your terminals, you easy access. But when you're linking 2 batteries together side by side, they should have a left and a right version available, whereas the slot is on the same side. And I've got my terminals facing each other here. It makes it really hard to try and reach your negative terminal there. Now I'll quickly fix this strap here, and then we'll do a test run in the car, make sure it's all going to fit first before I drill any holes in the car. I just replaced that rivet with an M6 bolt and a couple of oversized washers, and I trust that a lot more than I trust a rivet. That's never going to let go. One more positive about these though, they don't add any more weight to your setup. These here, it feels like it weighs about half a kilo. It's probably 1 kilo. It's made of alloy, very, very light. Once you've got your batteries in here, loosely connect your terminals as well, make sure they're going to reach across. Now this is why I do a test fit. I put the batteries in here, tried to shut the seat, and it wouldn't close. Even though I've measured it, it should have fit, it didn't. So I've had to lift the underlay here, bring the battery down a bit, and even now, I've got to slam the seat to close it. Still fits. If you've got a newer vehicle, you may have a false plastic rear wall here, so you may not think it's going to fit because there's not much room there. But you'd be surprised how much room there is behind that plastic. So if you pay to pull that plastic off, see how much room you got there, see if you actually can fit it. Quite often I see people do a cutout around the battery trays and with a bit of pinch moulding and actually recesses the battery back a bit, and it looks really neat, actually a lot neater than what this will be. Unfortunately, I can't have it perfectly central like I wanted. That one there sits nicely in behind this recess here, but this one here, this is where the fuel nozzle is, just here. So there's a big cavity taken up right here where I can't put the battery. So unfortunately I've got to have it over a bit. So now that we've got it where we want to do, just put a couple markings where it is, pull the batteries out, and then we'll mark the holes where we're going to drill. I had no idea the insulation under the floor was so thick. That's going to provide awesome sound insulation. One thing you have to be careful of is all the contours of your car. Even the floor, like mine, can be uneven. So try and pick the holes that match. If you can't pick the holes that match, try and use either spaces behind to fill in those contours, or you might have to drill a new hole in the battery tray. Now I've got a special marker with a longer tip on it, so I figure if I can fit this through the holes and actually reach the other side, I'll be able to put spaces behind it easily. I couldn't reach in with the pen everywhere I wanted, so I've got 2 holes down the bottom and one here. So it's still secured at 2 sides. Once you've marked your holes, you want to centre punch them, drill them out to 7 mils, but be careful, make sure you check under your car first, make sure you're not going to penetrate your fuel tank or fuel lines or electrical wires or anything like that. Make sure it's safe first before you drill it, and use a drill stop if you can. Then you want to put some rust inhibitor or paint on the holes so they don't rust. And then we're going to get our M5 nut certs and grab a tool. We're going to put the nut certs in. Now we've got a nut cert tool, we'll grab a nut cert, thread it on there, like so. Stick it in the hole, squeeze both sides gently until it goes firm. That's it, done. Unwind it, that's nut certs in. One thing you have to be careful of, which I just found out, I've got this black tar insulation stuff here from factory. It's all in here from the factory, but it's quite thick, so nut certs were just pulling straight through it. So in these spots, I'm gonna have to put a bolt through and then put a nut and a washer from underneath. Change of plans, I wasn't actually able to access underneath to put the washer and the nut on it. So what I've done, I've scraped away some of the tar around the hole. That way the nut cert will still fit in there. But make sure, it's bare metal exposed here, make sure you cover up that bare metal. Now that it's all bolted in, you can see because the holes were countersunk, the bolts sit nice and flush in there, so they're not going to rub on the battery at all, so it's nice and safe. Now we can throw the batteries in. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now stay tuned next week. I'll run through how to hook up power to these iTech World lithium batteries. And to thank everyone that stuck around this long in the video, in the description down below, I've got a special code and a link which will take you to the Australian Direct website, and you'll get 10% off all Kickcast products. So that's to say thank you to you guys. And also stick around, have a look, see how many times I stuffed up trying to make this video. So, enjoy this video guys, and I'll catch you later. Cheers! Now the rain stopped for another minute, so we'll give it another crack for a minute. Now I'll quickly fix it. Now I'll quickly fix it. Now I'll quickly fix this. I can't talk. Now I'll quickly fix this strap here. Make sure you connect your terminals too, so you've got a nice even space you know they're going to reach. Even with, if you've got a newer car, you may have a false plastic wall here, so you may not think you'll be able to fit them, but test it out first. Pull the false wall off, see what room you got behind it. You may be able to cut out a section and put pinch melt. Now if you've got a newer car, you may have a false plastic wall behind here, so you may not think it'll fit, but do a test fit first. Pull that false wall out, see how, if you've got a newer car, you may have a false plastic wall back here, so you may not think a battery's going to fit, but you'll be surprised. Pull that wall out, see how much room you've got behind it, and then test fit. You may be able to do a cutout in it with some pinch molding around it. That's it, we're all done. Batteries are all mounted. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, for those people that have stuck around, batteries are all mounted. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, to thank everyone that stuck around this long in the video, use the code down below on Australian Direct website, which I'll put in the link down below as well. You get 10% off of all their products. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, to thank those people that stuck around this long in the video, use the code down below on the Australian Direct website, which I'll put down below as well, and you get 10% discount on all Kickcast products. And also, stay tuned. You'll see about batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, to thank everyone that stuck around this long in the video, use this code down below on the Australian Direct website, which I'll put on the link down below as well. Batteries are in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Stay tuned next week. I'll show you how I wire up these iTech. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Stay tuned next week. I'll show you how I wire up these iTech World batteries here. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now stay tuned next week. I'll be running through how I hook up. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Stay tuned next week. Batteries are all in and mounted now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Stay tuned next week. I'm going to show you how I hook up power to these iTech World lithium batteries. Now for everyone...